Right, we're just waiting for my computer to kick in and then we can start. Should be coming up in a moment. Yep, it all seems to be live. Something's happening. Seems to be a little slow this morning. Let's refresh my page. Just bear with me a moment. Sorry about this. There we go. Right, just bear with me. All this technology, I don't know. A little slow this morning. There we go. Right. Just change that. You then. There we go. Sorry about that. I really should not touch that screen once it's gone. Oh dear. Right. Well, welcome to Babsie's card making and crafting session. We're here in a little village called Deanshanger in Northamptonshire in the UK, and thank you for joining me. This week we've been looking at the stamp set and punch posted for you, and I have some cards that I have done for you in case you haven't seen the previous videos, and if you like these then please go and have a look. Now these are what we call in Stamping Up World SIP cards, which is just simply stamp, ink and paper. And that's what these are. These have come from this stamp set and we've just arranged them and it just looks really lovely. This has just had a little bit of masking, so we've cut out an image of this flower, put it down and then stamped this image just on the side, so you just get that little bit, you don't get it all over the flower. This was the second one. We also stamp our envelopes when I can remember. And this is a little different, so that stamp the image on the side of the card and then two different images from the stamp set there, and just a note on there. So nothing else on there, and they're very vanilla cardstock, so we don't need an insert, and then just stamped a flower in there. So they're Mondays, and Wednesdays we stepped up a bit. Got a bit of bling on this one, nice and shiny. This is just basically stamping on a piece of card of the same colour as the base, which is Whisper White, and not colouring it in, but just on the outline, and then doing these two little pieces of paper stamped on there and punched out. And I've just put the edges in the ink pad just to give that little bit of colour. Now that's quite pretty, I like that one. And then this one turned out to be much better than I hoped. So this again is a petal pink cardstock, very vanilla on the top, and this is a 2-inch strip, and all I've done is stamped a 1 3/4 inch strip, again just in the outline in petal pink. Stuck them together and then put them on the card at an angle, and then just trimmed round this layer, and then adhered the layer to the card, and then added some little bits on there as well. I don't know whether you can see those, but those dimensionals there, the sequins there are actually flower shaped. They're really, really, really pretty. And that's got a stamped image on the inside of the card. And also we've done the envelope. So that's all the cards we've done so far. And I have got a little project for today. And as I said on my post today, we're going a bit Christmassy, but we're going to do that one in a minute. We're just going to hold on to some other use of the punch. Now you've seen how we've used the punches for the sentiments. This time we're punching in what we call DSP, which is just pattern paper. Now I have to confess, these are from a previous catalogue, and unfortunately these particular ones aren't available, but we have plenty of checks in our stash that you can change these up for. It's just the ideas that we're going for today. So I've got a basic card base, which is 8 1/4 scored at 4 1/8, and it is 5 7/8 tall, but we're going to have it on a tent fold side this time. And this card in Whisper White measures 3 3/4, and I think that's square. Yeah, 3 3/4 square. And then what I've done is punched out 2 of each of the colours, so I've got 4 in all. And then all we're going to do is adhere them onto. Now, was I going to adhere them? Yes, I'm going to adhere them onto this piece of card, if I can find my glue. There we go. So that's the first bit that we can do when the glue comes out. Glue's been quite funny to deal with lately with all the heat. It goes really, really runny, but it does the job. So we've got one up in the corner, and then we've got this other one. You can do this with any colour you like. It's just how it appears and how you set it out. I just want to bring that. Oh, is that going to be too late? Yeah. Oh, well, never mind. It's fine. I just wanted the same distance around, but it's not going to happen this time because I've done it too far over. So we've got one laying landscape, one laying portrait. This one's going down portrait. Whoops. And of course, you know where this one's going. It's going to go landscape. There we go. So we've kept the border on the outside the same, just the borders in the middle are different. But that's all good. That is all good. As long as it's pleasing to the eye, that's the main thing. Right, before we go any further, I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon. So this again, I'm afraid, is ribbon from a previous catalogue. And I know it's not good to show things that we don't sell, and I don't usually do it, but I didn't have anything in blue, sorry, in mauve, so I really should have changed my whole colour scheme, but I thought I'd stick with it because it will add to your creations, because then you can go away and think about what I've done and change it to what you have. What you have in your stash. So in a way, for my sales it's not good, but for you, for all the inspiration it gives you, it couldn't be better. And of course it encourages you as well to have a look and see what else is available. If you can't have this, and what else can you have? So I do invite you to have a look at my shop if you want to have a browse through the catalogue. You can message me and I can get one out to you. We have also got the mini catalogue that's went live on the 4th of August. So, and that's got lots of lovely things in it, all for autumn and Christmas, and projects for, I'm going to bring my craft mat in now, because last time I did this I stuck it to the stuck it to the table. Nothing actually gets stuck on this, so it's a really good thing to have. So what was I saying? Can't remember now. Oh yes, the catalogues. The mini catalogue is all full of lovely things. It runs from, as I said, the 4th of August right the way through to the I think it's the 2nd or 3rd of January. So there are Christmassy things in there, but it's not exclusively Christmas. So there's lots of projects in there and different things that you can make and see. That there's a lovely calendar in there that holds little trinklets. What do they call them? Advent calendars, that's right. But it's all little boxes. It's got its own box, and then there's 24 tiny little boxes, and it's just adorable. So you need to have a look at that, because that project is really stunning. So that's that, and then we want the sentiment to go over the top, and I'm just looking at that and it just looks a bit off. I wonder whether we could move the ribbons up. No, do you know what? I'm just going to leave it, because I could, yeah, no problem. We'll leave it. Right, so what are we going to do as the sentiment? I think we'll have a happy birthday sentiment, and we can just squeeze it in this post-it note, and I've punched that out in Whisper White, and this is going to go at the top of the stamped image, and I'm going to do that on here because I can't see the edges on my white sheet. So I am going to have to come off the edge just a little bit, but it is only the scripty bit underneath the birthday that we're going to miss. So we're going to have that down there, and hopefully I've got it straight. Oh yes, that's nice, like that. That's pretty good. So that's done there, and let me just clean this stamp before we go any further. There we are, all nice and clean. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp a few little flowers on the edge here. Now this is Daffodil Delight, the same colour as the cardstock, and we have this stamp that's in the collection, and what I'm going to do is just to stamp the outline just on the edge of here. So hopefully we'll squeeze one in there. Whoops. And then hopefully we'll get the other one. Whoops. Come on, Barbara. We'll get the other one in there, I think. I think that'll be good. Yep. So that's just got the little image on there. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside for a second, and then we're going to carry on with this stamp down the side, because as you can see, if we adhere that to that, you've got all this empty space. So what I'm going to do is just to, using this flower again, is to use up this space at the side. So what I want to do is to have this quite tight up to the top, and then just stamp down. I'm not colouring it in, I'm just leaving it open. And this is what we call tone on tone. It's just the same coloured ink as the card. And then I'm going to have one down here. And then I'm going to turn it round, and hopefully I'll have one in the middle. Oh yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, that is really nice, like that. Right, so let's cover that up for a second, and then bring this one back in. And you can see how this is going to mount up now. So we need to put this one on dimensionals, and they are missing. Oh, right here. They've just fallen down. Usually I have them standing up on the side so I can see them straight away, but they had just dropped down so I couldn't see them. So we've got dimensionals on all four corners. And we've got one in the middle just to keep the middle up. Oh, hello, Carol. Just put my head up to see you there. Thank you for joining me. That's really kind of you. I don't know whether you caught any of the other cards that I've been doing this week, but they're all based on the Posted for You stamp set and punch. And we're just using a punched image on this card, punched DSP on this card, and a little bit of stamping. So this is going to go right in the middle of the ribbon. And then we're going to adhere this down. Now I'm going to cut those tails a bit because they are going to be in the way when we stick the card down. And I like to use liquid glue because I find it a little bit easier to deal with, even though we've got little strips of double-sided tape there. So this one's going to go in the side. You can see my hand shaking there. It's going to go on this side, and just trying to get that border all the way round. There we go. And just thinking, you know, if you wanted a little extra detail, what you could do is to go round the edge, rather like I did with the other card. Let me see if I can grab it. This one. You went round the edge with the Highland Heather. So you could do that with this if you wanted to give it a little bit of more detail. But I'd kind of be struggling about what colour I would do it though. I think with the two colours on there, I think it balances it just enough. So that's that card. Very quick to do, and I think you'll agree that the results are really quite good. And you can do it the other way round as well. You can take away this and just adhere these to the card, and then use these on a panel and have this part standing up with a colour behind, so you can actually swap them completely around and it still would look really lovely. I haven't put a innard in there, but when I do, it'll have one of these stamps on that as well. So that's that one. And then the other one, as I said in my post, we're going to go a bit Christmassy. Now, I saw something like this on YouTube, on the internet, but I wasn't quite sure how I could work it into a card that I wanted to do. So I had to play around with the stamp set, and this is what I've come up with. So we have got a basic card base in real red, and as I said before, that is 8 1/4 scored at 4 1/8 and 5 7/8 tall. And then I've got a rectangle that is stitched all around rectangle die set, and I've cut that out, I think of the second largest one, so it's got this little stitch detail on it, and that's going to go in the middle of the card. And then I thought, to give it a bit Christmassy, we must have a bit of green, so that is going to go on the bottom there. And then I had these 3 punched images, and then they are going to go either side here, and then another one in the middle. So that gives us our setup. The one I saw on the internet, this was different and this was slightly different. The layout was almost the same, but I didn't like how they had done the sentiment. And I was playing around with this larger piece and this piece to get it just so. So this green one again is a rectangle, but how I got this one, there isn't a rectangle this size, but how I got this one was to cut one of this size, and it is a bit bigger than this, and then just move the die down just here to the height that I wanted and run it through again, making sure that the edge of the die fitted in to the little slits that had already been created there. And you can do that really quite easily. You just need to make sure that the die fits back into those little stitch marks. And then when you're running it through the big shot, you just run it through on that edge. You don't take it right the way through, just in case you haven't got them lined up. So the image that I've chosen for the little stamps is this one here. And yes, we are going to try and create robins. Try being the ultimate word. So I am going to stamp those in soft suede. I do find stamping in Memento Black just a little bit too harsh. So I use Early Espresso or Grey Granite or something like that, depending on what I'm going to do. So that is stamped lightly in your ink pad. And then down on the stamped image. Of course, you can do all of this on just one sheet of paper and then stamp them out so you get a really even image. It's entirely up to you. It's just that this was the quickest way for me to show you what I was doing, because it meant I didn't have to turn around and use the big shot behind me. I haven't got the new cut and emboss machine, which is supposed to be really, really good. I've seen a couple of demonstrators use it. I'm waiting for the mini to come out. I think that is going to be perfect for me. So that's later on in the year, so I'll just have to bide my time, I think. Because my big shot isn't that old. I really can't warrant getting another one just yet. So I'm going to wait for the mini and make the most of the mini one, I think. So here we go with our attempt at doing robins. So I've got a mix of white markers and alcohol markers. So I've got an alcohol marker of Poppy Parade. This is the dark Poppy Parade. What I'm going to do is just do a line just under here. Just a little line. And then, I can't remember which way round I did it now. Let's do this one. And then coming up, making sure that we go over that red so that it blends in a little bit, so it doesn't look so harsh. And then come up and do the tails. This will dry. When the alcohol's gone, it will be slightly lighter. And the other thing I forgot was that not to go too far near the edge because it will bleed, and it's just done that there. So perhaps I'll swap ends. I'm just going over that red so it comes in a little bit. Yeah, you can see it bleeding a little bit, but it's not too bad. And then I was going to come back when that yeah, the other thing I was going to do with this was the branches, so let's do that. Do the branches. There we are. And then with the leaves, I was going to take the bullet end and just very carefully just line. I'm not colouring it as a solid image, because then you lose the definition of the leaf. So I'm just making little lines just to colour it in, not going mad and colouring it all in at once, because then you as I said, you lose the definition. So I'm just making lines, and the area is so small you'll lose the stamp, you'll lose the definition that the stamp has already created. So there we go. You can be, as long as you're using as long as you're using the little edge, you can be quite quick with it. And you can just go back if you think you've missed little bits. You can go back and just do a couple more strokes. But don't, as I said, don't do it too dark. Don't press too hard, because you do want that little bit of a line to show through. I'm afraid that's the limit of my colouring in. I use alcohol markers quite a lot because they blend, but then my problem is I don't know when to stop. I'll go on colouring and colouring and colouring, and it's really not necessary, and I end up with a bit of a mess. And I keep forgetting that the alcohol markers need to dry just a few seconds. So if I haven't got the effect that I want, I'll go on colouring and colouring, and it's not good. You have to step away with the alcohol markers just to let that alcohol evaporate, and then you can see the colour that that is laid down. And I'm not very, I want to see it now. You know, I don't want to wait. There we go. Sorry for all of the noise outside. It's getting quite hot already. It's quite building up in my craft room, and I didn't put the fan on because it was quite cool this morning, and I thought, oh, thank goodness, I'm going to be able to craft without the fan. And of course I didn't put it on, and had the window open, and having their drive done, and they're cutting paving slabs and things. So there's a little bit of noise, so I do apologise if that's if you can hear that, and that's making a difference for you. So let's try this again. One just one line very lightly, and just one there very lightly. Let's see if we can get that one. Yeah, we'll do the bullet end this time. Little tiny swirls, and not too many. Oh, that's much better. Control, control, Barbara. That's all you need. There we go. Little bit of a swell. They're starting to actually look like robins. I'm really quite impressed. Right, so we'll leave that one, but then we can go back in and, excuse me, go back in and make some difference on the feathers and that in a moment. So the same here, again, we'll just take that round, just those few little bits. Round here first, try and get that blended in a bit. Up on the tail, round on there, round his face. There we go. Just take that round there. So with this one, what I was going to show you was just a little bit, and this is a right marker now I'm using. Just follow the lines that are actually already stamped, and just adding a few where the wings are. And that's all you need to do. Just a little bit darker on the head, and then down here, and then just up here underneath his here, and just round there because they are, it's underneath. So this one again, just a few just here, and just following those lines, just a few lines on the feathers, and just bringing that down. I'm using the bullet end again, so it's nice and light lines, and just round. So just a little bit on his head, not much on this one because he's looking the other way. And then we'll do the same for this one, just on the wing, and that one, give it a bit more definition. I'm not going to play very much more with that one because he's a little bit on the top here, over the top, up here. A few more lines on here just to give it a bit of detail on the wing, and then just here as well. I think that's pretty good. I'm really pleased with these few, and I'm sorry that you know, you're sitting there just watching me colour. Oh, hello Claire, that's nice of you to join me. Thank you so much. We're using the stamp set Posted For You, and we've just done a card where we've just punched DSP out to do the base of the card, but this one's got a bit more detailed in stamping some images and that slightly differently. So we've just got just a few more branches to do. I was just saying earlier, it's a card that I've seen on the on YouTube. I think it was on YouTube. It may have been on Facebook. I'm not sure, but I wasn't quite. I didn't quite like the way the sentiment was put on the card, and I wanted to use a different sentiment. So I played around with this background piece and this piece to get it how I wanted it. So it's not exactly like the one I saw, but for me it fits better. So we're nearly finished. I'll just finish this roughly now. We've taken a lot of time colouring. And it's not my best, I have to admit. It's not my best. And I was saying when I coloured the first channel that because these are tiny, tiny stamps, you don't want to go at it like a bull in a china shop, that's how I colour. You just want to take tiny, tiny little strokes. And then when you finish, like here, you've got too much white space, or then you can go in and just fill in just where you need to. But to leave that little bit of white space in those leaves just gives it a bit more, well, I feel, just gives it a bit more definition. So there we are. That's a mixture of blender pens and right markers. And now we're going to adhere these to this panel here. So we're going to put them flat on the card. Couldn't think then. Oh, thank you, Claire. That is really nice. It's really nice to see somebody using a stamp set that you haven't got, and it gives you some ideas. Not only for a new stamp set, which we don't need a lot of encouraging to buy, but also it gives you encouragement to look at your own stamp sets that you have and to work out how you can use the ideas into what you have. I mean, this is just a simple layout and it can be done so many different ways. And I'm sure you've got something in your stash that you could adapt this to. You know, you don't have to have 3 panels. You can have 2 panels or even 1 panel. But it's the idea of the colours and, you know, how you're putting it together. So there we go. So that's that. And then we've got a little bit of stamping to do on here because this is going to be on dimensionals. So I'd like to put the greeting on here. Oh, we could actually... Oh, let's change things about a bit because I was going to put this on dimensionals, but I might change my mind. So this is a stamp that I wanted to use. Lots of love at Christmas. And there was no way I was going to be able to put that on the card because it would go straight over the middle and or down on the side, and it just didn't look right. So that's how come I've changed all of these layers so that I could actually pop this right in the middle over here. So the debate now is just what colour. Do we bring red into it, which is what I originally thought, or do we stay with the green? What do you think? I have both. I have real red, which is the card base, and I have shaded spruce, which is the green base. So we've got both colours. What do you think I should do? Because that's then going to go onto the card there. So what colour do you think? I'm leaning towards the green, but oh, Carol says red. What about you, Claire? Are you going to agree, or are you going to go for red? I'm going to go for green. Ah, the red. Okay, Carol, we'll go for red. We'll go for red. Right, so we want it almost to the top. And in the middle. And down. Just leave it so that it gets the ink on the page. I think that's really quite nice like that. That's gone well. Nice crisp image. So now I'm going to adhere that to this, and then I'm going to put the whole lot on dimensionals. I don't like using more than oh, I'm sorry, Claire. I don't like using too many dimensionals because there is the problem of posting. One dimensional will go through the post. 2 dimensionals, you'll have to have a large letter stamp. So here we go. Oh, lots of dimensionals today. I really think I should get my take-a-pick tool out, I think. Take it out and use it, I think. Because it's the quickest way to get dimensionals off the pads. So here we go, just putting that centrally onto the card. And there we are. That's really nice. I like that. I think a few of my Christmas cards might be like doing, get that ink out of the way before we get the card all stamped up, inked up. Oh yeah, I think a few of my Christmas cards might be ending up like this. I really like that. I'm really, really pleased with that, and I hope you do too. So that's the other card that we made today, using the punches with the DSP. I know it's old stock, but I didn't have any checks at the moment. It's in my order, ready to come, but it's not here yet. So I used a little bit of old DSP and old ribbon, but the concept is it's the ideas that you can take home to use with your own stash. And I don't know whether you saw the ones previously, so just quick look at those two. These were Wednesday's cards, and these were using the notelets and envelope cards from Monday. So that's just a simple stamp, ink and paper, and then stepping it up and then changing it again. So with this one, time's running on a little bit, but if you've got any pearls or diamantes, or you know, some lovely sparkly bits, you could put some lovely glitter on there. It needs a bit of gold, don't you think? Let me see. Just a minute. Let me see. I'm sure I've got some gold. Yay! These are the holiday rhinestones. There it is. Right, so let's put a little bit of gold on there. Whoa. I'll have one up there, one here, and one right at the top, I think. Oh, sparklies, lovely. I like that. I'm going to fiddle about with that now. You'd probably find a little bit more gold to put on there, I think. And I'm sure we've got some glittery gems for that one as well. So we'll do that one as well. And we'll post it up so you can have a look. But I do appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much for contributing and sharing your comments. It's been great to interact. Thank you so much for joining me. And please follow and share the videos so that I can build up my base and get some more interest. So thank you again for sharing today. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.